hotel. Yeah. So they keep a hotel. And they can opt to stay there or leave. Now it's free though, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to call to order our regular board meeting of Tuesday, January 25th, 2024. If you would join me for our 1.01 moment of silence, that we could stand in reflection and remembrance, please. Thank you. Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Parker?
Here.
Ms. Barnes?
Present.
Mrs. Gherkin? Mrs. Barwig?
Here.
Mr. Vasquez?
Here. We are now at section 1.03. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Dr. Durant, if you could recite our mission and vision statement, please.
Yes, TPS mission to provide innovative educational opportunities that ensure each student is prepared for their future. Our vision statement is to empower each and every student to lead and live a purpose-driven life.
Thank you. We are now at 1.05. I would like to request a motion to adopt the June 25th, 2024 board agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
Mrs. Gherkin? Mrs. Barwig?
Yes.
Mr. Vasquez?
Yes.
At this time, I would like to go to section 2, which is our presentations, and turn it over to Mrs. Mazer.
Good evening, and thank you for coming. Good evening, welcome Neller family and friends. We would like to express our condolences on the loss of your father and of our community friend. On behalf of the Board of Education, I present this certificate. Certificate honoring the life and legacy of Richard Rico Martin Neller. Mr. Richard Rico Neller was a man of strong commitment. He was dedicated to his beloved family and vast friends of loving and learning, his passion for journalism, his drive to give back to his community. Known for his charismatic ways, his abundant energy, and his winning smile, Rico studied sociology and anthropology in college. Records show he began his rich career as a teacher for Toledo Public Schools. He then attended law school at the University of Toledo and became a well-respected local defense attorney. His professional path took an unexpected turn when his love of journalism led him to founding the highly acclaimed La Prensa newspaper in 1989, the largest bilingual Hispanic weekly newsletter that covers areas in Ohio and Michigan. The paper brought a stronger awareness of the Hispanic community and continues to keep its dedicated readers connected to important local, region, and national news. Richard was dedicated to Toledo and supported the community in a variety of ways, sponsoring art shows, festivals, several scholarship funds, and initiatives. And while we continue to mourn his passing, his memory and rich legacy will live on far into the future. We thank him for his work to make Northwest Ohio a more vibrant and diverse community. Our thoughts and prayers remain with his family and his friends. This is from the Toledo Board of Education, June 25th, 2024. Pastor Randall Parker, President, Bob Vasquez, Vice President, Sheena Barnes, Polly Taylor-Gherkin, Chris Varwig, and Dr. Romulus Durant, CEO and Superintendent. Thank you. To honor Mr. Neller, Profesora Andy Hernandez, an instructor for the Escuela Mariachi Abuelitas Ensemble, will play Cielito Lindo, Lovely Heaven.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. I'm very grateful to be here to pay a tribute to a great person. We have joined like this song. It's very famous, composed by Quirino Mendoza y Cortez, and it's Cielito Lindo. And if you want to sing with me, please. And I don't know where may I to put here in front of you, wherever. Okay, thank you so much. I think you can sing with me. Ay, 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 canta y no llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. Could you repeat? Ay, 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 I can hear you. Canta y no llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. Ese lunar que tienes, cielito lindo, junto a la boca, no se lo des a nadie, cielito lindo, que a mí me toca. De tu casa a la mía, cielito lindo, no hay más que un paso. Ahora que estamos solos, cielito lindo, dame un abrazo. And you can right now. Ay, 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 canta y no llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. Siempre que te enamores, cielito lindo, mira primero donde pones los ojos, cielito lindo, no llores luego. How do you say? Ay, 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 ay. I can hear you. Canta y no llores, porque que cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. So much.
Gracias, Profesora Hernandez. Thank you. Very beautiful. And thank you to your family for coming. And again, we give you our condolences. We do appreciate all that your father did for our community. Thank you. I also like to mention that there are plans being discussed to have a scholarship honoring your father's name, and we'll keep everyone posted on that. Thank you.
Board members, would you mind taking a picture with the family, please? Dr. Durant?
Now we would like to recognize our retirees for this month. If anyone is here, please come forward and shake hands with everyone at the Horseshoe. Robin L. Roth, food service worker at Edgewater, retiring with 25 years, 4 months of service. Linda M. Becker, food service worker at Chase with 25 years and 8 months of service. Catherine E. Taylor, principal at Navarre, 27 years, 5 months of service. Marcia J. Rossler, distance learning para at Wade High School, 28 years, 4 months of service. Linda Herrera, food service worker at Rogers, 31 years, 9 months of service. Renee L. Antasio Adler, second grade teacher at Whittier with 32 years of service. Marion Lawrence, secretary and employee benefits, 35 years, 8 months of service. Deborah Sims, distance learning para at Scott High School, 35 years, 10 months of service. And Suzette Ann Skowronski, my apologies, secretary at Waite Pupil Personnel Center, 39 years, 2 months of service, for a total of 281 years and 1 month of service to Toledo Public Schools.
Thank you, Mrs. Mazur. We are now at section 3 with community comments. And so we want our treasurer to please read our community comments, please.
The board values the input of citizens and community members regarding all aspects of the district. The board understands that education is the center of all community issues and activities, and that input is important because it allows the board to hear all views on all matters. In order to ensure a quality public comment portion during board meetings, all citizens and community members who are scheduled to speak before the board shall abide by these general rules. 1, each speaker has 3 minutes unless modified by the board president. 2, the time will be displayed for the speaker and the public to see. The treasurer will announce when time has expired. 3, any questions that speakers would like responses to should be submitted in writing, and the board president will secure answers within a reasonable time frame, normally 7 to 10 days. Depending on the amount of research required to provide a comprehensive response and the time-sensitive nature of the question. 4, board members will not engage in policy dialogue with speakers, but will use their established committee format to have substantive dialogue. The public comment section is the opportunity for the board to listen to all citizens and community members and make contact with speakers following the meeting for individual feedback and questions. The general guidelines are established as a way to provide the maximum opportunity for board members to listen to our citizens and community members and provide an organized and structured procedure for feedback that will help our students and families.
Thank you. At this time, we have as our speaker, Ms. Charmaine Ivy, who's a community activist, and she will speak for 3 minutes regarding 5 key points that TPS needs to improve upon. Thank you, Ms. Ivy, for being with us.
Thank you. Good evening, board. My pleasure again to be with you tonight. I realize that it is within your authority to extend time if I need it. I'd like to reserve the right to ask later, but I want to get right into it because I think we have a very important topic to consider and think about as leaders and as we move forward in elected positions, and knowing that federal elections are coming up next year. I think the Board of Education has a serious threat against it from the federal level. So to review real quick, my research is in the school to prison pipeline, whereby discipline is focused on rather than mastery of skills. It dumbs our students down. According to Dr. Kumar at the University of Toledo, 80% of the teachers who are in marginalized and disenfranchised schools are taught by white teachers. 80% of those teachers could not match a kind word with a dark face. This is according to Dr. Kumar, University of Toledo, as of like 2016. Columbus uses privilege of education in its definition for suspension as opposed to right to education. Brown versus Board of Education. So this threat, with missed education, Donald Trump said that he would defund any educational system that promoted critical education. Leaders in real time are going to have to say enough is enough. It's not only affecting black children anymore. I see more white people around Tecumseh, Nebraska. It's infiltrated everywhere. There's a deep separation between the 99 and the 1%. If we don't fight back, we're repeating cycles. We're getting titles and positions for the purposes of titles and positions, and nothing is changing. With 25 seconds left, I don't need an additional time. I'm telling you, do something for our children. It's not just me hunting you down. And I want you to ancestors, do something for our children that we have a system in place. We have people in place who can do something real time. Use your voice. It is your power. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ivy. At this time, we're going to go to section 4, which is our organizational input. The one representative that we have is Mr. Ramirez from TAP.
Thank you. And I want to thank you for that presentation for Rico Neller. I can tell you from a Hispanic that grew up in Toledo that La Prensa paper means a lot to the community. My parents definitely are older, and it means a lot for them to have their birthday put in that paper or their anniversary in that paper. They have arrived if they're in La Prensa, even over the blade. So I just, it's good to acknowledge his contribution to society and to Toledo neighborhood. I could always see him with his camera around his neck and a colorful strap that I always had, the Mexican colors. So he's going to be sadly missed. Want to just tell you that I'm happy to be here, happy to be here in this weather. It's cooler this week, and you see what's happening in other parts of the country, and with the storms, and with the tornadoes, and with the heat, and with the fires. Be glad we're in Toledo. The other piece I want to talk to you about is I wish negotiations were going better, but we are still at the table. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll go to section 5, which is comments by the board, beginning with Mrs. Varwood, please.
Thank you. I'll keep it brief. It is summertime, and I certainly want all of our staff to enjoy it and get refreshed from it. I certainly want to thank 281 years of service by retirees is incredible, and I thank them for what they do each and every day, and I hope they enjoy their retirement. I also would like just a moment here. Well, number one, I'll say Vouchers Hurt Ohio, broken record here, but I also want to thank my colleagues because over the years, and even though I feel like maybe some of the public does not realize this, and maybe we need to do a better job of voicing that, my colleagues have done such an excellent job of supporting public education at the state and federal level, and we have used our voice at the state and federal level against bills, I will say kindly, that are attacking all of our children. And I just want to give a shout out to my board members that you are doing the work. I appreciate the work that you're doing, and we will continue to push for public education at the forefront and fight the good fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Varwood. Mrs. Taylor-Gergen.
Thank you. Since you mentioned Vouchers Hurt Ohio, I know we see a lot of information coming to us from the various organizations that are in support of the lawsuit and just winning this battle in the court of public opinion. I learned that Akron Schools just joined the lawsuit by a 5-1 vote with 1 abstention. And when you look up and down this Diaz and thank us for, being willing to lead and go first and get in the fray of some of these very important battles, it seems that the one board member that voted against it is actually the principal of one of the private schools that get vouchers. And so I'm not gonna name names, I'm gonna let you read that article, but that's a person who got elected to a public board of education, but is not necessarily there to look out for public education. I just think that, it speaks a little bit even to what Ms. Ivy was talking about. We're getting attacked from all levels of education. So it is an ongoing battle. We have so far legally, most of the decisions so far going on that lawsuit are have been in our favor, but we certainly are winning it in the court of public opinion. Every piece of news across the state just continues to add up the outrage related to vouchers, and there's really no defending it. There's no one really speaking to or trying to defend the other side. They just, we want to, and that's the only reason they can come up with. About today's agenda, I mean, it is summer and we are going to have a break, but it's kind of the coolest thing on this agenda is item 6.23, where we have 12 pages of graduates, totaling about 1,100 kids who graduated from TPS this year. So I think that's my why, so that I can vote on 1,100 graduates of 2024 from TPS. Very TPS proud. Thank you.
Ms. Barr.
Let's go. Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Yes. First, I want to say Happy Pride. June is a celebration of visibility, support, and love for being who you are as you are in the LGBTQ+ community. And I want to mention Pride started as an uprising against injustice in Ohio and several other states. But right now in Ohio, we have great injustice against trans and non-binary folks. And so I would call to say pride is action, pride is love, and we need to be doing both. With that, currently, even though it doesn't affect K through 12, we have an education destruction bill at a higher ed, Senate Bill 83. And why I'm bringing it up right now at this board meeting is because we are preparing our children for their future, and some of that future may be higher education. And with this destruction bill attacking efforts to promote DEI, even award diversity scholarships, talk about the current climate and political atmosphere. You're talking about your social work majors, your psychology majors, even healthcare majors will not be able to get that real, honest education at a higher education in Ohio if this bill passed. And so once again, because it's Pride Month, but every month we lead with action because it's love, I need you to make sure you call your state reps and tell them that you want our students to have equity and accessible higher education here in Ohio. Ms. Bringman, thank you so much for just leading that presentation. We're talking about seeing all of our community here at TPS, and so I am truly grateful that we, in every shape and way, try to do that every day, so I do appreciate that. And I want to say, I want to thank the people in TPS that even though we get weary and tired, because it feels like a new bill every day is coming out that is either trying to defund or attack our students or our staff members or decrease our funding to make sure we cannot give high quality education that's accessible to our students. But I want to give a shout out, a love, pouring into those who come and fight every day. And not just here in TPS, but throughout Ohio, but definitely in TPS, because I know sometimes you don't hear the good things about TPS. And so I want to encourage you that we are doing good things in TPS. And you are so appreciative, appreciated. And I just want to say I see you as a parent, especially in my children's life, of how people in TPS have shown up, even checked in during the summer, just to make sure they have access to college tours or summer camps or things like that. And so thank you for being who you are, and thank you for being with TPS.
Vasquez.
All I can do is echo what my colleagues have already said, that public education is under attack, both at the state and federal level. And I'm glad that it's not just us, but it's the community who recognizes some of the things that are going on and brings to the forefront to everybody's attention that there's elections that are going to be going on and that people are going to have to make some choices, and they should do their research about how some of the things that they're saying would affect down to the local level. I mean, we can see what's going on around the country regarding the tax on public education, not just in Ohio, but around the country. And I think that some of the things that are being said about whether they're going to pull funding if certain decisions are made at the local level for the states and others, it's a sign of things to come, and we can't just sit back and allow those things to continue to happen. So we have to be aware of everything that everybody is saying. We have to be aware of getting the information out so people can make the correct choices for public education, for students, for our staff, for everyone. And the only thing in addition to that I want to say is I'm TPS proud.
Thank you. I want to echo the sentiments of my colleagues as well. I appreciate hearing Mrs. Taylor-Gherkin always say that her why. I think that's very important, but I also appreciate the we, as board members, as the district as a whole, how we really care about this fight against public education. And you have all of us, most of us, I believe, in here that really will do whatever it takes to make sure that we will stand on every level to protect our students and protect our district for those who try to fight against public education. We know that summertime is a pause for many, but the work still continues in various ways. And so we do hope that you will take time to balance, to breathe, to enjoy the moments before we begin again into another school year. Again, thank you, Ms. Brinkman, for the presentation. I believe that a path, pioneers lead paths that really never narrow. And so, you know, that's a path with Mr. Neller. And to the retirees, we are thankful for their years of service. And finally, I was going to say something about the graduates as well. Mr. Gerken, I'm excited about agreeing with that on today. I went to 10 of the 11 graduations, and I was trying to match Dr. Durant, and the last one I couldn't make it. I was so mad. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Vasquez. And so the result of that was a great time seeing the students and the staff, and it was just really great. So next year, I got it. I'm gonna make all of them. So thank you. TPS proud always. We will now go to section 6, which is our consent agenda items. Agenda items 6.01 through 6.43 are our consent agenda items. Board members may request to pull an item from the consent and move to discussion section of the agenda. Item 6.01 through 6.06 is our Human Resource Staff Development and Training Committee, Chair Pi Taylor-Gherkin, Co-Chair myself, Randall Parker. Item 6.07 through 6.20, Finance and Business Operation Committee, Chair Bob Vasquez, Co-Chair Chris Varwig. Item 6.21, which is our Workforce Development and Partnership Committee, no meetings this month, Chair Bob Vasquez, Co-Chair Pi Taylor-Gherkin. Item 6.22 to 6.23, Board Curriculum Instruction and Academic Excellence, Chair Pi Taylor-Gherkin, Co-Chair Chris Varwig. Item 6.24 through 6.38, Policy Committee, Chair Sheena Barnes, Co-Chair Bob Vasquez. Item 6.39, Arts, Athletics, and Student Activities Committee, no action items this month, Chair Chris Varwig, Co-Chair myself, Randall Parker. Item 6.40 through 6.41, Family and Committee Engagement Committee, Chair Bob Vasquez, Co-Chair Sheena Barnes. Item 6.42 through 6.43, which is the approval of board meeting minutes. I'd like to request a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
Mrs. Gerken?
Yes.
Mrs. Barwig?
Yes.
Mr. Vasquez?
Yes.
We are now at section 7 of the agenda, which consists of reports and minutes from this month's committee meetings and are there for your information and reference. No action is required, so we can now proceed to section 8 of the agenda. Section 8 is discussion item 8.01, which is our June 25th, 2024 instructional section. I'd like to request a motion to approve the June 25th, 2024 instructional section.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
Mrs. Gerken?
Yes.
Mrs. Barwig?
Yes.
Mr. Vasquez?
Yes.
We are now at section 9, which walk-ins. Are there any walk-ins this evening? If not, we can proceed to section 10, which is our early childhood education items. Co-Chair Randall Parker, or myself, Co-Chair Sheena Barnes, and I'll turn this over to Dr. Allen at this time.
Thank you. We do have 3 items for approval this month, 10.01 and 10.02 are contract amendments for our delegates due to the COLA award. Those can be bundled for a vote, and 10.03 is the annual contract that we have with the East Toledo Family Center.
Thank you. I would like to request a motion to approve the bundled early childhood action item of 10.01 and 10.02.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
Mrs. Gerken?
Yes.
Mrs. Barwig?
Yes.
Mr. Vasquez?
Yes.
I would like to request a motion to approve the ETFC contract 10.03, 7/1/24 through 6/30/25.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Now, Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
Mrs. Gerken?
Yes.
Mrs. Barwig?
Yes.
Mr. Vasquez?
Yes.
We are now at section 11 of the agenda, consists of early childhood education reports and minutes from this month's committee meeting and are provided just for your information and reference. No action is required, so we can proceed to section 12. Are there any walk-ins from ECE? Thank you. We are now at section 13 through 15. Yes. We'll begin with our comments with our superintendent.
Again, echo with regard to graduations, 11 graduations. Took a lot out of me, but at the end of the day, I can tell you, if there's any event in speaking at or being part of, graduations are the one that parents appreciate the most. And so when we did surveys, and when they surveyed the individuals, every one of them said that they appreciate going to every graduation and speaking at every graduation, which was hands down, which I would have never thought of to the survey piece. The other thing is the community parade. We had already done Old West End and Point Place. I can tell you there was a huge crowd of support for the district, and it was overwhelming. But again, we appreciate the community. Our next one is the African American Festival Parade that we will definitely engage in. The other one is the Toledo Refinery Golf Outing, which committed 100% of the proceeds to the district, which is almost $200,000 from that golf outing. So we appreciate the refinery really, truly supporting the district in the way that they have done. So again, enjoy your summer, and TPS proud.
Mr. Treasurer.
Nothing this evening.
Board members, Mrs. Barwig,
Not this time.
Mrs. Gerken,
Nothing more. Thank you.
Mrs. Barnes, Ms. Barnes,
Thank y'all. Drive safe. Have a good night.
Mr. Vasquez.
I'd like to take my next 20 minutes to tell nothing further. TPS proud.
Thank you. I would like to just say real quick that I forgot about the parades. I was really excited to be a part of the Old West End Parade and the Point Place Parade as well with Dr. Durant and Ms. Barnes. It was a great time, and the support. I just really want to say I don't know. I've been hearing stories of in the past how it was not as friendly with the crowds as it relates to TPS, but I can tell you personally how amazed I was at how many people loved and supported during the parade and shouted TPS proud at both of the parades. So thank you. It's a great thing. All right, now the moment you all been waiting for, I'd like to request a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Oh, my. It's been moved and seconded. Any questions and discussions? If not, Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Parker?
Yes?
Ms. Barnes?
Yes?
Mrs. Gerken?
Yes.
Mrs. Bartwig?
Yes.
And Mr. Vasquez?
Yes.
Have a great night. Thank you.